Isabel Quintero's Gabby, A Girl in Pieces is the diary of Gabby Hernandez, a senior in high school whose life always seems to be in a pretty intense state of disarray. Her mother holds some very strict and conservative traditional views, and though Gabby loves her mom, it's hard for her to be open with her. Gabby's two best friends are both in difficult positions in their personal lives, and they both rely on Gabby to help them through. Gabby's father is addicted to meth, and about halfway through Gabby's story, he dies of an overdose. Though her father's death is not the only difficult situation in Gabby's life, it is the one that spoke to me the most. Using a reader response lens to view the events of the novel, I was able to layer my own experiences of having a parent die due to complications with addiction and Gabby's similar experiences to determine a hopeful meaning statement. However, before I can share that meaning statement, I have to share my metaphor. Gabby's grief in Gabby, A Girl in Pieces is like a garden hose. A garden hose has length. It's long. Its whole purpose is to carry water from one area to another that needs watering. However, unless it's your garden hose and your yard, you might be a little confused as to where all the water is coming from. This is especially true because hoses are designed to blend into the grass around them. They're green and patterned to mimic the natural plant life in your yard. Similarly, Gabby's innermost emotions tend to remain hidden. She's often so consumed with the tasks of maintaining her familial relationships, helping her friends through their difficulties, and keeping her grades up that she doesn't have time to deal with what's going on in her own mind. So whenever her behavior does begin to reflect some of that frustration, anger, and sadness that has built up in her heart, it seems almost disconnected from the things that are causing all of the negative emotions. Like when she yells at her tia Bertha about hypocritically kissing a man. There's a lot of other stuff going on in Gabby's life at this point. She's just been suspended from school, her friends are mad at her, and it's only been a little while since her father passed away. There's plenty that she should be upset about, but none of that is what she yells about. Instead, she scolds her tia for kissing a man in a truck, rather than talking about all of the things that are weighing on her. Just like a garden hose might surprise you when water comes from around the corner. Similarly, if you try to obstruct the flow of water in a hose, it's going to backfire. Gabby tries to suppress her feelings, but all that happens is she ends up exploding. She yells at her aunt, she beats up German, and she has all kinds of small conflicts because she chooses not to deal with what's really bothering her. Garden hoses also often have nozzles with different settings to decide how the water comes out. Sometimes the water comes out heavy all at once, sometimes it comes out in quick spurts every couple seconds, and sometimes it comes out in a gentle mist. Gabby's grief works in a similar way. Right after her dad dies, she's so sad all the time she can't get out of bed and she can't go to school. Then, after a little bit of time, it's less obvious. She goes to school, but it still weighs on her. She has to write letters to her dad to make her feel better about his loss. These stages of grief are like the dials on a garden hose. All at once, every now and then eventually, that fine mist allows for the plants to grow, just like Gabby's grief helps her to grow. Gabby's diary ends with her saying that things might not appear to be perfect, but to her, everything is as it should be. And if anyone has trouble understanding that, well, they can kiss her ass. This is different from how Gabby has felt throughout her story. She's been stressed, and she's been frustrated, and she's taken it out on a lot of different people. But at the end, Gabby really seems to feel as though she's going where she's supposed to go. Things can never be the way that they used to be for Gabby. Her dad has died, and that can't be undone. But Gabby has grown through the experience of grieving her father and all of the other things that have happened in her life in the story that she's told. Just like the fine mist on the last dial of the garden hose nozzle, Gabby's grief is going to keep persisting. It won't be as strong as it first was, but it'll still happen, it'll still hurt sometimes. But it also helps her to grow, and it makes her a better, more beautiful person, just like the mist in the garden makes the world a more beautiful and vibrant place. I can really relate to these experiences that Gabby had in the novel. I think that my grief has allowed me to grow into the person that I am, and I'm grateful for that, even if it still hurts sometimes. And that's the meaning statement I have derived from Gabby, A Girl in Pieces. Grief is hard and it hurts, but it also helps us to grow.